Greetings gamers, HNSN, and welcome to the finale of the HNS Remembers 3D Mario series. So after Galaxy 2, for the next 3 years, 3D Mario would go under a great... Well, it went under a good but different direction. A great but different direction. As they made 2 3D Mario games that weren't really, there were 3D Mario games with the style of 2D Mario, and overall, both Riddle and World were great games. I have a lot of nostalgia for them. They're a lot of fun, and I have a lot of history with me buying both of these games. I talked about how I begged my parents 6 months for 6 months for 3D Land, and how I didn't have a Wii U back when 3D World came out until a little less than 2 years later. And yeah, both those games, when I just got to play them, they're amazing games. But after 3D World, which was on Nintendo's biggest failure, which is of course the Wii U. Well, actually, it's not the biggest failure; it's the Virtual Boy. But we don't talk about the Virtual Boy. But all that aside, though, so after that different direction, the Wii U had a short lifetime due to its low sales. The console really wasn't selling well. The poor marketing really screwed the poor marketing and weird name screwed it over. And although it's And although the Nintendo fans obviously had it and loved it and stuff, including me, what was Nintendo doing next for Mario? As we didn't really get a new original mainline Mario game for a while. I mean, in 2015, we had Super Mario Maker, which was not really mainline. It was basically it was a spin-off, I guess. Hey, you got to make your own you got to make your own Mario levels based on 2D Mario games. But where is 3D Mario going? As during that era, Nintendo had a huge focus of 2D games, with the likes of, 3D Land and World took full. There were 3D Marios that played like 2D Mario. We had a lot of 2D platformers that era. New Super Mario Bros. 2, New Super Mario Bros. U, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, Chibi-Robo Zip Trash. Yes, that game blows. Scott the Woz fans all know that. Yeah. And Yoshi's Woolly World, which is a great game, by the way. Yeah. And those were all great games, but the 3D was kind of left behind. But that was until 2017. In January 2017, it was 3 months after Nintendo announced their new console, the Nintendo Switch. A brand new idea from Nintendo, and we just show came around with a city going on, and then Mario comes across. Yes. And when I first saw this, I freaking lost it all the way back in 2017. I was late to the Wii U, but I was playing it a lot back then, and then I saw this game, and I was like, what? Oh my gosh! Yeah. I was that excited, basically. I mean, this looked absolutely amazing. Mario was going around in that Odyssey ship thing. It was going around. It was going around a city based on New York City. Some kingdom with Mexican-like people. Some forest place, and yeah. And it was honestly very new. And he was going around the Cascade Kingdom with a dinosaur. Whatever the Lynching Kingdom is and stuff. I was absolutely mind blown when I saw this. And by then, I was already saving up to get a Switch, and I got one 3 months later, and I was totally ready to get this game. And in fact, I definitely did, obviously. This game came out worldwide on October 27th, 2017. Now, I didn't get it at launch. I think I was busy with other games and stuff. So I got it for Christmas 2 months later, and I played it the whole way through. And beat it 2 weeks later, and let me tell you, this is an absolutely amazing game and a true masterpiece, and my second favorite Mario game ever. But now as always, this has spoilers, So if you don't want to spoil it, and you haven't played this game yet, go do that first. Go grab your Switch and do that first. And then go watch this. Oh, anyway though, let's get on with the video. Let's get on with the Odyssey. So it starts off in the skies above Peach's castle. And of course, we see Bowser attacking Mario on an airship, but this time he's in a new outfit. He's in apparently some wedding outfit. Yes, because the new plot of this game is that Mario has to go scattered around the world trying to stop Bowser from marrying Peach on the moon. That is honestly a really interesting plot, but I honestly really like it. It is very, very interesting, and Mario gets blown off by Bowser's hat, and Mario's hat gets blown away, and then Mario, of course, gets hit off and flung into the skies, and of course, Bowser takes Peach, obviously. But where could the plot go next? Let's see. Well, Bowser stomps on the cap, and yeah, time for the plot to continue. So then Mario gets waken up by some talking hat thing known as Cappy, Mario's big new companion in this game. Kind of like the Luma from Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. Yeah, and Flood from Super Mario Sunshine. This is honestly really interesting, and it was definitely pretty new. And Mario's in this new thing called the Cap Kingdom, something that's never been seen before in a mainline Mario game. And once you see this, you definitely know that you're in for a treat. And that is honestly true. This game is absolutely amazing, and yes. And you start off, too, with something very new, as you now get the Throw Cappy. That's something that's never been in there before. That's basically never been in there. And the Cap Kingdom is very interesting, too. It's a lot of people compare it to the world... A lot of people compare the Cap Kingdom to the world of The Nightmare Before Christmas. And, yeah. But the Cap Kingdom is pretty new. It has very black and white themes, and, yeah. And the music's pretty good. The music is honestly really good in this game. It's not as good as Galaxy and Galaxy 2 soundtrack, obviously, but you know. But overall, and one of the first things you do in the game is you see frogs, and guess what? You get to put your hat into them, and become them, and possess them. That is basically one of the most interesting ideas I have ever seen. I mean, I think that's never really been in a Mario game before. This was the first game to have that. A very unique idea, which I really like. This game is filled with uniqueness. And then you see the Brutals, which are basically these bunny things. And you fight one of them, of course, and you leave the Cap Kingdom. And where do you go next? Mario goes to some cascade place called the Cascade Kingdom. This game is really fun, so you get to go around and rampage as a dinosaur. Yes, as a freaking dinosaur. That has never been in a Mario game before. Yeah, I mean, that is absolutely mind-blowing. Mario possessing a dinosaur, and the new collectible in this game is moons. This game is basically filled with moons. It has them basically non-stop. There's basically going to be moons non-stop in this game. And they're basically the replacement for stars, is the moons. Yeah, it's a pretty new idea, but I like it. And not only that, but he also gets to possess a change-up. He gets to possess, basically, but they call it capturing. You get to capture a lot of things in this game. Goombas, Koopa Troopas. Well, I think you can capture those, but okay. You can capture Hammer Bros, a dinosaur, Chain Chomps, all that amazing stuff. And yeah, that's honestly really amazing. Or this game has bosses in each kingdom or something. And the first big boss is of course the leader of the Brutals, Madame Brutal, and she don't those chain chomps, you have to hit her with it, yeah. And this is honestly a pretty unique boss fight, and as for some variety this game really has and really strives with. And at the defeat her, you get three power moons. That's absolutely great. And then, of course, Mario gets... So then after you get those, of course, Power Reawakens to the Odyssey. Yes, the name of the game is also the name of a ship that Mario has, basically. So it's kind of like a miniature version of Starship Mario from Galaxy 2. When there were stores, well, you basically just go around the world. Where do you go next? Next up is the Sand Kingdom. The Sand Kingdom's absolutely amazing. Like I said in the beginning of this video, it's kind of like I'll kind of just describe its themes. That it's kind of like a Mexican desert. It's a new idea, but very interesting. It's of course new power moves to collect, and it's also where you get to capture bullet bills. Yes, that's very cool. And this is where the game really starts to open up and has new ideas. This is where the power moon collecting really kicks off. Where it really shines. And yeah. And also that's where kind of the open world stuff starts to come. And yeah. You even get to capture a new species in this game. Yes, that in this part, very interesting. And that's absolutely great overall. And at one point we will be going through this cave area, and what do you get on the inverted period? I mean not period. What do you get on the inverted pyramid? Of course, another boss fight. Yes, this time, what are you fighting? Well, you're fighting against, of course, more Brutals. Yep. You're going to be fighting the Brutals a ton in this game. Basically in every kingdom or two. But that's not really a bad thing. But once you defeat them, of course, you get 3 power moves, which you get from lots of the big boss fights, and well, then the Sand Kingdom goes dark, and you have to explore an underground cave. Once you go through that, you of course fight a very unique, interesting boss against some kind of thing or whatever. This is also a really fun boss, very interesting one. You have to capture his fists and punch him. That's honestly really fun. The boss in this game are absolutely fun. Of course, yeah, this game has that. Fun. This game is filled with it. And absolutely. That's what I want the next kingdom. Alright, then after that, well, next up, you're going to see and also on that cord they're seeing in the background is actually a cord for my webcam. But all that aside though, next up, then you're in the next up, you're in the Lake Kingdom. The Lake Kingdom is a really interesting kingdom. This is the first of 2 underwater kingdoms in this game. It's really amazing. Plus, I really like water kingdoms, or I guess water levels in games as a whole. I mean, they're kind of hard at times, and they could be unfair at times, especially in Sonic games. But you know, with underwater levels. But all that aside, though, this game is really amazing as you get to basically explore a lake, and it's definitely probably one of my favorite water levels in video games as a whole. It's really interesting. It's very unique. It has a lot of variety in it, and yeah. Alright, I got the cord out of the way, but anyway, though, next up is the Wooded Kingdom. Yes, the Wooded Kingdom. This seems really interesting. It's a forest, and of course the dinosaur is back from the Cascade one. And you even get these new species called uproots, and you get to use them to get moons and stuff, and they get around in this kingdom. This kingdom is really interesting. It has a lot of flower fields and stuff. It has a lot. It has a very steampunk theme too, which is very interesting and pretty unique. And the boss fight here is just really good overall. Yeah, really interesting kingdom. So then after that, you'll be going to the Cloud Kingdom. The Cloud Kingdom doesn't really have too much to it until the post game. And that is And that is, of course, but what you do get to do there is to fight Bowser for the first time. Yes, you get to fight Bowser for the first time. Not really too much, but hey, that is cool, I guess. And it is probably a pretty good boss fight. But if something gets lost, then of course Mario goes to the Lost Kingdom, which was kind of like a jungle with purple poison waters, and yeah, and of course you collect things there. And well, but what is lost? What is that something I mentioned? Well, Cappy gets lost. Yes, Cappy gets lost, and Mario goes look for him. And he does so in this kingdom, which is also quite interesting, I guess. Yep. Then after that is the Metro Kingdom, set in New Donk City, which was the first thing I talked about in this video, or I guess like one of the first. And this is definitely my favorite kingdom in the entire game. Starts off with it being all dark and stormy, and Mario gets to capture tanks and use them. Yes, tanks, and he fights these robotic-like bugs, which is similar to the side bugs from Wreck-It Ralph. Yeah, it's a very interesting idea. Mario capturing a tank to fight things that are like cybugs. Yeah, it's a pretty new idea, but I definitely accept it. And it's going to New Donk City. Well, why it's going to New Donk City? We'll get to that later, I guess. But here, but when you first get there, you're gonna be basically capturing a tank and of course saving the streets of New Donk and stuff. And yeah, very amazing. The boss fight is really amazing too. The boss fight, you're gonna be fighting basically a big group of the spiders, and they're basically forming a group. They look kind of like Smorg from Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. Yeah, pretty new idea overall. After all of that, of course, it is time for Mario to explore New Donk City during daytime, where all peace is kept and stuff. And now it's time for the most exciting part of the game. Now, why is it going to New Donk City? Well, it's because Donkey Kong isn't in this game. However, Pauline is in a new way. As through this, you get to meet the mayor, Pauline, and host a band concert. This is by far the best part of the game shines most. And New Donk City is very fun, as you get to do a lot of fun activities. You get to do the Koopa free running, which is really fun. And you get to ride on a motorcycle, capture an RC car. How interesting can that be? Yes, this game absolutely. The game is the most mind blowing here. And you meet people that are like real humans. They look like real humans, kinda, and it's definitely very new. It's never been in a Mario game before. So then, of course, a concert gets hosted at New Donk City, and you get to see the best song in the game, which is also has lyrics in it. So that's something that Mario music actually hasn't really had much, and that is, of course, Jump Up Superstar. Jump Up Superstar is absolutely an amazing song in the game, and probably one of the best songs in Mario history. It's cool they added that here. The music in this game is pretty great, even though I do prefer Galaxy 1 and 2 soundtrack and Sunshine's and 3D World's soundtrack. But anyway, though, this was definitely amazing. Going through a big 8-bit segment, that's absolutely cool and very mind blowing. And I was very blown away when I saw back when I played this for the first time in 2017 and 18. Absolutely amazing. Alright, so then after New Donk City, after that's all the way, then Mario goes to the Land of Snow at the Snow Kingdom at Shiveria. And this part's also pretty fun too. So we're going through an underground area and becoming becoming a Yeti-like thing and doing some kind of race. It's really fun, really amazing, and it's really cool how they added a snow area, because of course they're going to add a snow area in a Mario game. Now I said there's two water levels in this game. Well, next up is Seaside Kingdom. Yes, the Seaside Kingdom is absolutely amazing. I'll be fighting this octopus that has like lava in it. And you'll be going through. It gets a bunch of sea creatures on the seaside. Yes, very new, and you just get to capture Peeps here and explore the water even more. And I can definitely say that this is even better than the Lake Kingdom. It's absolutely really fun, and being able to explore the waters and going through that new fish that you're seeing on screen, and freeing up the lava and cleaning it up. That is absolutely amazing. And yeah. And the next up is the Luncheon Kingdom. Luncheon Kingdom is absolutely amazing kingdom. As I have a theme of food, of course, and you get to capture Hammer Bros and stuff. And this one's absolutely amazing. It's going through basically a fireball going through a big lava, and it has a heavy theme of food, but I really like it overall. It's absolutely really fun exploring this. This is definitely one of the most interesting, most unique Mario Kingdoms. One of the most unique and interesting Mario levels. Absolutely. And of course the boss fight here is very good. Fighting that bird, and you'll be even exploring its theme, and you even get to make soup out of various items in the game, which is also quite fun and stuff. Yeah. Next up is the Ruined Kingdom. Now the Ruined Kingdom is it's kind of the Ruined Kingdom has a more darker theme. So you'll be fighting basically a dragon. You'll be fighting a dragon, and that's definitely one of the best fights in the game by far. And everybody fighting a dragon looks kind of realistic, which is very new. It's like it's never been in this before. This game had a lot new to this series, basically. And yeah, and there's not too much to do here until the post game, but this is honestly quite interesting. Yeah. And the next up, you'll be going through Bowser's Castle. This time it's called Bowser's Kingdom. And what I really like about this is it's also very unique. And this kingdom it's kind of styled to ancient Japan. Heck, I forgot to say this in this video, but you get to dress up Mario in this game, and his different outfits relate to the different kingdoms. And one of them is they get the samurai outfit. That's really interesting. I think Bowser's Kingdom kind of be based on ancient Japan. That's absolutely amazing. You even get these Pokio things. That's what they're called. They're like little birds. You even get to scale through walls. That's absolutely fun. And we're going through like different parts. That is absolutely great. You're going to be fighting all the Brutals one final time, but then you fight them all in a giant robotic machine. This is a very cool boss fight. Absolutely amazing. And yeah, I really like it. So after all that's done, Mario goes off and explores the moon finally to go find Bowser and Peach after all that fun exploring. And of course you get to go on the moon, you explore a dungeon, and then you get to the wedding hall, and of course, it is time for Bowser to be taken down. And the final boss is absolutely amazing. So of course you fight Bowser just like you did in the Cloud Kingdom. So it's basically like a rematch. But then, what happens next? And this time you get to become Bowser. Yes, you get to capture Bowser at the end and escape. This has basically never been seen before. Just like a lot of things in this game. And I thought it was mind blown when I played this too. And yeah, this part is absolutely stunning. And of course brings back also has one of the best songs in the game too, right at the end here, and which is also really nice, I guess. It's really cool too how they had video game songs with lyrics in this. It's very interesting, never been seen before in a Mario game, yeah. And then of course, Mario, Bowser, and Peach break through and lead the way, like the song Please Here says, and then what happens? So the Bowser is down, and Mario and Peach are united, and Cappy and Tiara, which Tiara is basically Peach's version of Cappy. But then what happens? Well, Bowser wakes up, and then what happens? Bowser gives Peach something, and then Mario gives Peach something, but what happens? Peach rejects them. Yeah, this is a weird ending, but something that could be explained in the inevitable Mario Odyssey 2, which I really hope happens. The end of Super Mario Odyssey for the Switch. I'll see you guys next time at the end of the series until Odyssey 2, whenever that happens, or when the next 3D Mario happens. But see you guys then, Agent S out. Greetings, gamers, Agent SN, and the Wii U was a great console. It had some great games, even though most of them are on the Nintendo Switch, and that's because the Wii U did not sell well due to its poor marketing choices and stuff. So Nintendo decided to make enhanced versions of lots of the big hits like Pikmin 3, Mario Kart Deluxe, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, Super Mario Bros. U, Super Mario 3D World, etc. And they've been basically porting these games to the Switch with new content. However, there's still some games that are left behind. So today, I thought about doing an interesting video about how likely some of the remaining ones are. But I'm also going to give you guys my personal want score that shows how much I want them. Now these are basically, I mean, they're not like all the big hits, but they're pretty much like most of the big hits on the Wii U that haven't been ported to the Switch yet. So today I'm going to talk about these games I'm going to talk about how likely they are and how much I want them. So without further ado, let's go. Alright, now starting off is Xenoblade Chronicles X, and is this going to happen? Maybe. And why? Well, it's because Monolith Soft has stated before that they want to port this game, but it's too expensive for a port, and that's why it's kind of likely. I mean, I guess how I could describe it is maybe. Will it happen? Maybe. I personally think there's about a 50-50 chance. Because Monolith Soft has said they want to port it, but they don't have the money to, and plus right now they're also assisting with Breath of the Wild 2. And keep in mind that they also designed the engine and the graphics for Breath of the Wild and its upcoming sequel as well. They also assist with Nintendo for that and stuff, and of course Nintendo owns Monolith Soft. So yeah, so I can see this as a maybe. I mean, I really want it because I love Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and 2, and I would definitely like to try out this game because it's the only Xenoblade game I've never played before. But better reason is because it's most likely not going to happen at the earliest until 2023, if it does happen, because we just had Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition last year, and that's a remake of the original Xenoblade Chronicles. So I feel like they're going to probably wait at least 2.5 years, because Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, which is a remake of the original Xenoblade Chronicles on the Wii, and later the new 3DS, that released 2.5 years about after Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which is an original game for the Switch, and that released in December 2017. So I can see this maybe happening. I mean, if it's going to happen, probably not until 2023 at least, and it would cost way too much money to port. So, but because Microsoft is interested in porting this game, then I could see it happening there, but we'll have to just wait and see. But let's go ahead and give it the chance and want score. Alright, so I give this game a 50% chance. It's going... Well, it could happen, but like I said, Monolith Soft has stated before in an interview that they wouldn't have the money to port it, even though they want to. It would cost way too much. Plus, it would take so much time because the game is a massive world. Like it might even be bigger than Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and 2, even though both those games are already big. And yeah, but in this game, I had even more heavier focus on gameplay, so I guess it makes sense. But because a lot of fans want a Switch port, including me, in fact, this game comes to Switch, then I get to play it for the first time, of course, which would make me really happy. And we'll get to that in a second with the one score. But because, it would be so expensive, but because money would be a problem, and the fact that it would be so expensive to port, I don't really think it's too likely there. However, for my one score, 100%. Like I said, I love Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and 2. The first game is one of my favorite games of all time. The second one is also a great game. So I would definitely be happy to be playing to play what is kind of the forgotten one out of them. And I would definitely play it no matter what, if it comes to Switch. Alright, now let's go on to... Alright, now next up is Star Fox Zero. Now just like with Xenoblade Chronicles X, I see this as a maybe, because this game was developed, well, actually the developer doesn't matter, but let me explain it. So the head designer of Platinum Games, Hideki Kamiya, has stated before that they're not sure about whether they want to port this or not. Always I'm pretty sure they said that before. But the reason why I'm going to play this as a maybe is because it's more likely that we're probably going to get an original Star Fox for the Switch. I only know if they want to port over Zero. And this game also had a bonus game like that that's released as like a bonus for those who bought it physically, not a Star Fox Guard. And that wouldn't even work on the Switch because it's all about the Game Pass. So that gets a 0% chance right there. With this, though, I can see it as a maybe. I can also see it as a 50-50 because, this game was pretty polarizing. So, I personally thought I personally thought the game was average. So I give it a 7 out of 10. But it's probably more likely that we're going to get an original Star Fox, and that's why I see this as a 50-50. But because the other Platinum games that were Wii U exclusive, like Bayonetta 2, that got ported to Switch, The Wonderful 101 got ported to Switch last year. Because of that, I could see them doing this, but it's more likely that we're gonna get an original Star Fox on the Switch if we get a new Star Fox, which I hope so. So, with all that said, let's go give it a score. A chance of 1. So yeah, I see this as a 50% chance, just like with Xenoblade Chronicles X. It could happen, but I'm pretty sure that the Platinum Games have said, specifically with Hideki Kamiya stating that they're not sure about it. At least I'm pretty sure they said that, like I said before. And maybe it's gonna happen, but it's more likely that we're just gonna get an original Star Fox on the Switch. For one score, though, I'm also gonna say 50%. No, like I said, a lot of people either liked or just wasn't a fan of this game, or thought it was okay. I personally thought it was average. I could describe it as between okay and good. I'd give it probably a 7 out of 10, but I'm not sure how but I'm not sure how Star Fox Guard would be even possible on the Switch, and that really is as a little extra bonus with this game. But the first person view on the gamepad, that could be reworked. However, I'm not sure how that would work in this. So yeah, it was a big part of the game. So yeah, 50% chance and 1 score. All right. Next up is Wii Sports Club, and do I see this happening? Not too much. This is possible. However, and especially with Miitopia getting a remaster on the Switch, I could see it being more likely now. However, here's the thing. I'm not really sure if they want to do something with Wii in the name, so I feel like they're more likely to do a spiritual successor called Wii Sports, and make a completely new game and a spiritual successor called Wii Sports. That's, I could see happening more, but I would like to see this get ported, yes. And I would buy this for sure. So yeah, and so because of those reasons, I'm gonna say this is probably not too likely, but let's go give it a score. But I do want to see it happening, especially since they could get rid of the day pass, they could have better controls, and yeah, let's go give it a score. So yeah, I give this a 30% chance. Could happen, but I feel like they rather just do a spiritual successor, since this was designed for the Wii U. They're more likely just to do a new game similar, and that's a spiritual successor. So yeah, 30% chance though. For one score, 80%. I only played about. I think I only played this like once or twice because I got a free day pass back when I got my Wii U first, and back in 2015. But they get rid of the day pass, have better online, and if they have better controls and stuff. Even though the controls aren't too bad in Wii Sports Club, but they forced 2 remotes and boxing. That was annoying, especially for those like me who only had one Wii Motion Plus. So because of that, I would love to see it on the Switch. 80% one score. And very why it's not 100% chance, like Xenoblade, is because I mean the Wii series games are good, and mini games are good, but a lot of the Wii series games are kind of more like tech demos. But don't get me wrong, I would still like to see it. 80% chance. Want. Alright. Now next up is NES Remix Pack. And just like with Star Fox and Xenoblade, I'm gonna say this one. Yeah, just like with Xenoblade Chronicles X and Star Fox Zero, I'm gonna say this one's a maybe. Maybe it will. I'm gonna say that this could happen. However, here's the I can describe it as a maybe. Now, why maybe? Well, here's the thing. Both these games were originally released as downloadable only titles before they later got ported to 3DS and into a 2-pack physically on Wii U in late 2014. And another thing, I'm not sure if Nintendo would be interested in these importing these or not. I'm not sure if Nintendo's interested in importing these or not, so I'm just gonna put it as that. But let's give it a score. So yeah, I'm gonna say I had a 50% chance. Maybe it'll happen. Much if Nintendo would still care about making an NES Remix port of both of these games. They're released in a 2-pack. But I would be down to see it. And for one score, 80%. I really liked both these games on the Wii U, and I don't think I ever played the 3DS version. But I would love to play these classic challenges of NES games again on the Switch, and please give us an SNES remix, Nintendo. Alright, next game. Alright, next up is Paper Mario Color Splash, and I can say I could see this as I'm sorry, Cool Beans Cruise, if you're watching this, but it's not that likely. Why? Well, because we had the Origami King almost a year ago. The game released in July 2020, so in the middle of 2020. So because of that, I don't think it's that like we're gonna get a new Paper Mario game or ports of one of the previous 5 anytime soon. But the main reason why I don't think this is gonna happen is because I'm not sure how it would work on the Switch. You see, Color Splash takes... Well, Paper Mario Color Splash was Nintendo's second to last major Wii U game on the Switch, because of course Breath of the Wild was their last major Wii U game. But all that aside, though, what's wrong with the Switch ports, and why wouldn't it work? Well, one reason would be because of the gamepad. The gamepad takes full use in this game almost, as you use the touchscreen mechanic a lot. For something cards, you do it with the gamepad, and you like swipe them when you're ready. And and that could work on the Switch, but not sure exactly how. And yeah, and also these cutout spots, which just could work possibly, but you know, I'll let me know in the comments, or if you're watching this during the premiere, if you think, if you got an idea for how the controls would work. But I don't really see this being possible because, you know, the gamepad, and because the Origami King is too new to have another Paper Mario on the Switch. It's more likely that we're going to get the 1000-Year Door HD if we get a new Paper Mario on the Switch. Which I really hope happens, because I love the 1000-Year Door. But that, I don't think is too likely either, but I hope. But this, honestly, as a maybe, well, actually, no, not a maybe, I don't really think this is gonna happen. But do I want it? Maybe. But find out, it's a chance of one score now. Alright, 20% chance. The gamepad, I'm not really sure how that would work, and the thing is that it's too new for a Paper Mario game on the Switch. It just had a new and original one last year in the middle of 2020. For one score, though, 50%. I'm not a big fan of Color Splash, but that was okay. And it's definitely better than Sticker Star, which was terrible. But Paper Mario Color Splash, maybe. I probably would buy it on the Switch, but you know. But because I wasn't really a big fan of it, I don't think I want it more than others, but I wouldn't be mad at that one. Maybe I'd buy one, but maybe I'd buy it on the Switch, which I probably would, but you know. So yeah, 50%. Next up is... Alright, and next up is Yoshi's Woolly World, and I'm gonna say this one is... I'm gonna say it's decently likely. It's a most likely no, but I do think it is somewhat likely. And I'd say the chances of it happening are average. It's possible we could get it, but and this year would be the time, because it's already been 2 years since Crafted World, and because Crafted World is now 2 years old, and that game is very similar to this one. I could see them porting this there, but not really exactly sure. But you know, and I could, but I do think that this is somewhat likely because, well, here's the thing. I mean, it was one of well, I don't know what else to say, but this game has. I mean, this game would honestly get a lot of people hyped for those who played, and for those who didn't play either the Wii U or the 3DS version, or if they played them but want new content and stuff, and those would be hyped. I can see Nintendo having them there, and here's the thing. And here's the thing. I mean, it's only been 2 years since Crafted World, so they could make this now, and it's one of the few big. Well, the game does have a 3DS version that released a month before the Switch, but you know, but because it released a month before the Switch, then everyone got to try the new content and stuff, including me. I mean, I played this the whole way through on the Wii U. But I never played the 3DS version. I would definitely buy this on Switch for $60. Let's go ahead and give it a score. So yeah, I can see this as a 70% chance. Maybe it'll happen. Well, actually, it's decently likely. I'm not sure if it's going to happen like this year, next year, or not, but I think it could happen at some point. For one score, 100%. I love Yoshi's Woolly World. I like Crafted World more, but I would definitely play this, especially since I played it on the Wii U the whole way through. I never really pick it up on the 3DS for some reason. So because I never played the 3DS version, I would totally buy it for the new content and stuff. But now let's go on to... Alright, the next up is actually 2 games. I'm showing footage for The Legend of Zelda, The Wind Waker HD, but I'm also going to include Twilight Princess HD here, too. And I personally think these are very likely. I don't think it's going to happen this year, because we already have Skyward Sword HD coming, but I think this is going to happen either 2022 or 2023. That'd be a perfect time, because bigger than that time, the 20th anniversary of The Wind Waker happens in December 2002. And, yeah. But let's go ahead and... I think it's going to happen, too, because, you know, it's Zelda's 35th anniversary, so it could be announced this year and then released next year, but you'll have to wait and see. Let's go and give it a chance on 1 score. Alright, so I give both of these games a chance score of 90%. I can definitely see these happening because, well, Breath of the Wild released on both Wii U and Switch, and simultaneously, and Hyrule Warriors was originally a Wii U game, and then it got ported to 3DS, and then to Switch. So because we've already gotten those 2, which were also Zelda Wii U games, I can definitely see both of these coming. And they would probably sell pretty well, too. And with Skyward Sword HD coming, it could also make these more likely. For 1 score, 100%. I love both these 2 games a lot. So I would love to have them on the Switch. And be able to play them portably for the first time. That's it for this video, though. I will... Wait, scratch that. This actually isn't the end. This isn't the end. But the next 3 games are ones I'm going to be talking about only briefly, because they're not ones I want to go in depth about. Alright, now this next one I do not want to go in depth about, and this next one is a game I hate, so I don't even want to talk about it. But yeah, 10% on this one. It's not that likely. People hated this one. It was terrible, and yeah. For 1 score, 0%. I hate this game right here, so I did not want to port it into the Switch at all. Maybe if it was included in a free update for New Horizons, sure, but not if it was a standalone package, no. Alright, and then there's Kirby the Rainbow Curse. This one just wouldn't work on the Switch, because here's the thing. The game's about the Wii U gamepad. You use the stylus on the Wii U gamepad to guide Kirby and stuff, and that wouldn't work because it's about touch controls. Touch controls, while it does exist on the Switch, it only exists in handheld mode, so it wouldn't work. For 1 score, though, 60%. I never played Kirby the Rainbow Curse, but maybe I'd check it out if it was on the Switch and stuff. But, yeah. They're not really sure how it would work on the Switch, so yeah. Alright, the last one I don't see happening is Nintendo Land. I'm sorry, but this is not going to happen. The reason why is because the game is all about the gamepad. And sure, Nintendo could make some phone app or whatever on this, but wouldn't work either. And they wouldn't do that. And I just don't see this happening. So yeah, 0%. For 1 score, though, 50%. I really like this game back on the Wii U, however, I'm not sure how it would work without the gamepad. The game probably just wouldn't really work without the gamepad, which is why it's not going to happen. And with those, that's it for this video. I will see you guys next time. Agent S out. Greetings, gamers. AgenSN. And the Nintendo Switch is a really great console. It has so many great games. Now, I did make a top 10 already on the best Switch games. However, that's only for original Switch games. Games that were first released on the Switch. Games that originated on the Switch. The ones that were released as brand new games on that console. So today, I thought of doing an interesting video about what if we looked at the ports and remakes. And so yeah. But before we get into it, let's look at the rules. Alright, so the first rule is ports, remakes, remasters only, because I already made a top 10 on original Switch games. And then another rule, well, it's not really a rule, but there are 2 games in this list that aren't out yet, or at least they're remasters or remakes. But I'm going to base my experiences on them on the original games. And then there's... And the last rule is first-party games only. Only first-party games. Without further ado, let's get on with the video. Let's go on with the video. Alright, so starting off this list, we have The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD. Now, this remaster doesn't come out until July, but I played the original game on the Wii about 2 years ago, I think, or about a year and a half ago, and I liked it. The game is pretty polarizing. There's a lot of people that hate it, there's people that like it, and a lot of people, and it's mainly because of its heavy use on motion controls. The game is really repetitive. So you're going to be experiencing a lot with the motion controls and stuff, which are going to become optional in the remaster on the Switch. But the game is still really great. The story is absolutely amazing, and it's really interesting seeing that this is a prequel to the entire Legend of Zelda series. This is the first game in the Zelda timeline. It's not the first Zelda game, but the first game in the timeline. This game's a prequel to the entire series, and it's definitely a good way to have a prequel to the entire series. And the story is really deep and explains the creation of the Master Sword really well. The story is absolutely the best part of the game. The gameplay, it's good but really repetitive. If I select the game, I'd probably give it an 8.5 out of 10. But let's go on to number 9. Alright, so speaking of The Legend of Zelda, we had a 3D Zelda game and a remaster of a 10-year-old Wii game. Now we have a remake of a top-down Zelda game that originally released on the Game Boy back in 1993. And that is The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. One of my favorite Zelda games. Link's Awakening is a really great game. And the graphics are absolutely amazing, and it helped inspire the upcoming remake of Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, which we'll see later on this list. Yeah, and I'm definitely excited for that game. And this game overall is really good. It's and the graphics there are absolutely amazing. I love the gameplay too, and it's really cool how they. And this is definitely one of the best top-down Zelda games, and for good reasons. The gameplay here is really great, and I also love its new art style. The gameplay is really good and stuff, and it even has some really cool Mario references. Yes, Mario references in a Zelda game. Nintendo's 2 most popular series mixing. That's absolutely amazing, and the game has a lot of things that in the Legend of Zelda series are unique to this game. If you haven't tried it yet, I recommend doing so. Especially since this is the 35th anniversary of Zelda. Let's go on to number 8. Alright, sorry for that ocean sound noises. Don't know where that came from, I just turned it off. Okay. Number 8. Alright. Next up is Pikmin 3 Deluxe. And this game is absolutely a masterpiece. I highly, highly recommend this game. The Pikmin series was already great. I played Pikmin 1 and 2, and there were some great games, but Pikmin 3 took the series next level. They even introduced new rock and winged Pikmin types. Those are absolutely amazing, and the new characters are pretty good, and I can honestly say that I like Alf, Brittany, and Charlie more than Olimar and Louie in them. And I also like his story, too. Well, I do think Pikmin 2 has kind of, I actually change my mind. I prefer Pikmin 3's story over Pikmin 2's story, even though I think they're great. The story's pretty good. And then in this game, you play as Alf, Brittany, and Charlie on their quest to find fruit on PNF 404 to return to their home Kopai. Now, while it uses different protagonists from Pikmin 1 and 2, I honestly like the change. It's still pretty good, even though Pikmin 1 and 2 were already excellent games. And the gameplay is pretty good too, and it's definitely the best in the entire series. This game's by far the best in the Pikmin trilogy. Give us Pikmin 4, Nintendo! All that aside, though, this game really good. I definitely recommend playing it, and the worlds are really amazing, and the different areas you can go to are really excellent. And it has some really good bosses and stuff, too. So yeah, try it if you haven't already. The Deluxe version on the Switch is the definitive way to play it. Let's go on to number 7. Alright, so next up is New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. This one's also a polarizing one, as people aren't really a fan of it by saying that the 2D Mario formula is getting old. Yeah, for sure. But this game, that I personally think really changed the Super Mario Bros. Series and made it really shine in a lot of ways. Even though the series was already great, the Super Mario Bros. Games were already great. But Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, which is Super Mario Bros. U and Luigi U, is absolutely amazing. The definitive way to play it. And the character selection is pretty good. They even introduce Nabbit. Yes, Nabbit. Yes, Nabbit was established in this game. And yeah, and of course it created Peachette and Toadette and stuff. Well, Toadette originated in Mario Kart Double Dash, but of course that Peachette in the Deluxe version. And this new version, and not Mario Kart. Just Mario Bros. U Deluxe itself is a great game. I mean, the level design is what I personally think is the best in the series, and the bosses are pretty good. And I also love the world and how they have unique names and stuff. And this game offered some variety, and it's definitely pretty fun, and definitely the best in the entire Super Mario Bros. Series, and it's my second favorite 2D Mario, because of course, you guys know that Super Mario World is my favorite 2D Mario. Let's move on to number 6. This is another one that's not out yet. Number 6 is one that's not out yet. Alright, our next up is another game that's not out yet. The Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, I'm very excited for. I have been wanting a Gen 4 remake for years. Now, the original Diamond and Pearl, it's good, but it's my least favorite in the entire Pokemon series. While Gen 4 is my least favorite generation, Diamond and Pearl its remake has a ton of potential. Now, I wish it was more like Sword and Shield, but I still accept the new chibi style, and it's still good, even though Wish is more like Sword and Shield. And the gameplay looks really amazing, and hopefully they combine elements from Platinum too. I'll be totally playing this. It's going to be really amazing, but I'm not going to really say more, because this isn't out yet. Because the original Diamond and Pearl was good, I'm including it here. Let's move on to number 5. Alright, and next up is Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. This game is absolutely a masterpiece. I mean, It's definitely one of the best 2D platformers I've ever played. Donkey Kong Country Returns was already an excellent game and a great return to the Donkey Kong Country formula. So Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze took everything that made it great, but now Tropical Freeze is even better. And they even introduced new characters with them adding Dixie Kong, Cranky Kong, and of course, in the Switch version, Funky Kong. And the level design is really great and has a lot of variety. And I can honestly say that this game is better than New Super Mario Bros. U. Now, I might have said before that I like New Super Mario Bros. U more, but my opinion has changed since, and I prefer this game. This game's absolutely amazing. It's honestly better than lots of 2D Mario games, honestly. And this game is just truly amazing. And those are amazing, the bosses are good, and the music is absolutely stunning. Like, the music is absolutely amazing. It has one of my favorite soundtracks in a video game, period. Let's move on to number 4. Alright, so next up we got Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. The Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U was already a great game, but Mario Kart 8 Deluxe took it to the next level by adding in the DLC in the base game. And the biggest thing is that they improved the battle mode. Battle mode on the original Mario Kart 8 was kinda bad. Not gonna lie. On the original Mario Kart, the battle mode was the battle mode. But the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe added a brand new battle mode, and it was absolutely great. And this was also the first game, too, in the series to have non-Mario characters. You get to play as characters from other Nintendo franchises, like from the Legend of Zelda series, Isabelle and Villager from the Animal Crossing series, and the Inklings from the Splatoon series. And the tracks are absolutely great, and I really like the new character selection and everything else. So this game is absolutely amazing. And it's truly a masterpiece and my second favorite Mario Kart game ever. Because, of course, you guys know that Mario Kart DS is my favorite. Like I said before. And yeah, it's an amazing game. I love the new characters, the track's absolutely amazing. I love its new carts and stuff. Yeah. The one to number 4. Or actually, number 3. Super Mario 3D World on the Wii U was already a great game, but a little over 7 years later, Nintendo decided to make an enhanced version with Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. The Super Mario 3D World on the Wii U was a great game. However, the speed was kind of slow, but they made it much faster on the Switch and boosted up the frame rate, while also boosting the graphics. That is absolutely great. And they even added online play. Yes, you get to do online play with friends. That's something that's quite unexpected. Not gonna lie. And they even added a new side game inside of it called Bowser's Fury, which is basically like what if you mixed Super Mario Odyssey with 3D World, and it's absolutely amazing too. When you combine this game that's almost a masterpiece and Bowser's Fury that almost is, you get a game that's pretty much near perfect. This game, truly excellent, and the level design is pretty good, and it's definitely an excellent game and definitely one to play. Let's go on to number 2. And next up is Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. This game, absolutely a masterpiece, and this is definitely one of my favorite games of all time. Definitely a game that's in my top 5 of all time. This game has a truly great story. I really love how it's about, and I really love how it's about giant titans fighting. That's absolutely a great story, definitely a unique one. I really love the Monado as a really interesting weapon. The characters are really good. The world is really excellent. The gameplay and battle system, absolutely great. It's one of the best battle systems I've seen in an RPG. And the game has really great characters and new abilities and stuff, and are really great. And the new content they added in the Definitive Edition, which is the version I've played and how I played it for the first time. They added tons of new content, including the new Future Connected thing, which is an epilogue side game that they included inside of it. And the world's very interesting. And this game has a massive size. When I say that, I truly mean it. This game has a gigantic size, and it is a long game that'll take you at least 50 hours to finish. But it's definitely worth it. For great story, for great gameplay, great music. When you combine it, you get a truly excellent game, and definitely a game that I put in my top 5 games of all time. Definitely play it if you haven't already. Truly great game. But now let's go to number 1. What game do I think is better than this? Let's see. And here's one that you probably saw coming. We're not just including one game here, because it's better than one game, 3 games. Not 2, 3. But, however, this is one that you can't buy anymore because it was a limited release and only available until March 31st. But Super Mario 3D All-Stars is absolutely great. But why is it on here? Solely because of Super Mario Galaxy. A game that is that's also one of my favorite games of all time. And I can go by far to say that it is my second favorite game, period. I mean, the game is absolutely amazing. It took Mario to the next level. And Sunshine, great game too. And Super Mario 64 had a great impact on the gaming industry with its 3D vibe and stuff. And Super Mario 64 made the series, more specifically the 3D games, the way they are now. And Sunshine took it to the beach, and Galaxy took it into space. Yes. When you combine 3 games, one that I basically consider perfect, one that's almost perfect, which is Sunshine, and one of my favorite games ever, Super Mario Galaxy. This game, or I guess this collection that they can't buy anymore, is absolutely great, and definitely worth picking up, and definitely worth all that $60 for 3 games. And the OSTs that you get built inside of the collection. Anyway, that's it for this video, and it's all I want to share about Nintendo's first-party ports and remakes on the Switch. I will see you guys next time. HNS out.